Danielle, and today I am going to sit and chat with you guys while I fold some laundry. So we're gonna do a fold with me and chat kind of video. So I wanted to chat with you guys with this whole stay at home, safe at home, quarantine life. I wanted to talk about essentials, non-essentials versus essentials, and just how maybe our thought process has changed. Has your thought process changed on what is essential? How does one define what's essential and non-essential? So just kind of want to chat about essentials because that has been a hot topic amongst my circle, and so I figured I'd chat with you guys and see what your thoughts were on it. Before we jump into this video, for those of you who are new here, hi, my name is Danielle and I am the non-traditional mommy, and on this channel I do chats and we chat it up. I talk about homeschooling, parenting, vlogs, just all kind of different stuff. So if you find any of that interesting, please check out some more of my videos, and if you feel inclined, hit that subscribe button and join my little family. For the rest of you MVPs, I love you guys. So happy to have you part of my family. And let's dive into this video. All right, guys. So the whole essential, non-essential. So I'm pretty sure wherever you are, more than likely, you know, things were shut down and all non-essential businesses were to close. Along with that, you have places like Hobby Lobby who ended up staying open and had said that to their employees that they were considered essential because they sold fabric and other things like that. But then it later came out that they were not considered essential and that they needed to close their doors or they were going to be fined. So you had those kind of situations where some places were like, well, we're essential, and stayed open. And then, of course, as you know, Walmart and places, Target, those places stayed open. I think more so because of their grocery section, that they stay open. And I have a friend, and she said in her area, the Walmart had decided that they were going to stop selling electronics and clothes and things like that and only selling essential items. And so I said to her, well, you know, electronics could be essential for some people. You know, a TV for somebody might be essential. You know, her argument was a TV is not essential, which in the big scheme of things, we can live without a TV. But, you know, I said, well, in this day and age, if they working from home and they need a TV for whatever reason, you know, their kids driving them insane, TV could be deemed as essential. And so we were talking about that, and then we got into the discussion of clothing items and them not selling clothing items. And I had said to her, there have been a couple times since we've been on quarantine that I've had to go to the store and buy socks and underwear because I don't know what is happening, but for some reason, like, all my kids lost every pair of socks that they had. So I don't know. So I have been buying socks for them, even though we aren't going anywhere. This was just an opportunity for me to go and get them some socks while we were out and about buying groceries. So, you know, we're just talking about how one person may see something as non-essential, maybe to another person it is, that kind of thing. And so my question is how do we determine Or how do you guys feel like they determined what was considered an essential business? For example, liquor stores. How and who said that liquor is an essential item? If we are literally shutting down the state because of a major crisis that is life or death, and we want everybody to stay home, and we only want you going out for if you absolutely have to go out, meaning to get food to live off of, then how does a liquor store become an essential item? I'm curious, do you guys feel like the liquor stores should have been deemed as non-essential? Also with that, you had here where I am in Tennessee, you have vape stores that were considered essential. The gun store was considered essential. I mean, I don't know, maybe, I'm not really sure why you would need a gun right now for essential. Like, I have to have a gun or bullets, or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Like, we're not hunting our food. So how was that considered essential? On top of that, fast food restaurants. I know all fast food restaurants are now takeout only or delivery. But again, my question was, or is, how did fast food restaurants become deemed as essential? Because is it essential that we eat fast food? Or could everybody survive off of going to the grocery store and shopping? My husband's argument with that was no, because we would run out of food. If you didn't have the amount or group of people that are opting to continue to eat out on a regular basis, grocery stores would suffer because of the demand for food. And I agree with him. I can see how he would say that, because I don't know how the stores were where you guys were, but where we were, they ran out of chicken. I mean, it was like crazy, y'all, crazy. I was thinking, how is every single grocery store out of chicken? Like, what is happening? And we were out of chicken for, I think, like the first 2 to 3 weeks. So for that, I can see how maybe, you know, for purposes of we would run out of food if everybody sat at home and cooked. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Does that mean our consumption is too high? Does that mean our portions are too big? Does that mean we've been set up as a country to survive off of fast food? What does that mean when you say that a fast food chain is now essential to our living? And again, we have to define what is essential and non-essential. Let's talk about that. So if we're talking about essential, like extremely important, absolutely necessary, like without it we would like suffer and die and we would not survive as a people, can we consider fast food places to be that? Or is the term essential, has that been loosely used during this pandemic? What are you guys' thoughts on that? My thoughts is that it's been loosely used, and that what we consider essential is really not essential, you know, to life. Even with us and myself, I have had to check myself numerous of times. If you order off of Amazon, then you know Amazon has dummied down their delivery, and you're no longer getting things that are non-essential in 2 days. And I've been trying to figure out how Amazon has determined what they are considered essential and non-essential, because some stuff I can get in 2 days and other stuff I can't. And there's been a few times that I've wanted to order something like batteries, for example. I needed batteries, and I went on Amazon, and I wasn't gonna get them for like a week. This is essential. I need these batteries now. And of course, once I got out of that mindset of like, you spoiled American you, I'm like, okay, I don't need the batteries now. Like, these batteries are not absolutely necessary. They're not essential to me living. Like, I'm not gonna die if I don't get these batteries right now. So that kind of thing, like what is really considered essential? Like, what is really considered absolutely necessary? And I feel like this time, this pandemic, this era of our lives is the perfect opportunity for us to sit as a family. You know, as a nation would be great, but as a family, to really talk about, you know, what is essential for us to survive as a people and as a family, and what really and truly matters in the big scheme of things. Like, in the big scheme of things of life, the things that we worry about and stress about and fight about and argue about and, you know, yell at our kids about, are these things really important and absolutely necessary? Okay guys, I'm gonna come back. I have a meeting that I'm supposed to be on. I'll be back. All right guys, had to take a meeting really fast. My time went by fast there, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's time for me to get on this call. Okay, so where do we leave off? Oh, talking to your family about, let me close my door back. Talking to your family about what is essential for you guys, and what are some things that you absolutely could not live without. What is absolutely necessary for your family to function. I think this is a good time to assess that. So if you've been a person that has been trying to create a budget or live by some type of budget and just struggling with what can I cut out, or where has our finances been going, then I think this time was a good time to really figure that out and assess that, and use this opportunity to do that. So for example, for us, we kind of sort of lived on a budget, but not a strict budget. Like, we've never really like stuck to our budget. So we could create one and then be like, well, you know what, and make excuses. And so with this whole pandemic that we have taken very seriously, you guys, we have stayed home and have literally only went out for essentials. And by essentials, I mean grocery shopping. And I will say, and let me just throw this little disclosure in there, when we would go out and grocery shop, we would pick up other things that wouldn't be classified as essential, such as a game, a board game, puzzles, toys, things to kind of keep our kids occupied, which I'll get to that in just a second. But what we realized, we have not ate out since this entire pandemic. I just kind of have a phobia of eating out right now. So we have not eaten out, and I have cooked me or my husband every single day since March 15th. So what we have realized is that, oh my gosh, we were spending a ton of money eating out. We always kind of knew that and had always kind of said that or felt that, but we've always came up with excuses, or we've always rationalized it, or whatever the case may be, and chopped it up as, oh, it's really not as bad as we clearly see on our bank statements that it is. But now that we have literally cut that out for over a month, it has been eye-opening for us on how that isn't really essential. Like, we do not have to eat out to the degree that we were eating out, and that will be something that remains with us even when this pandemic is over. We will not resume back to our normal behavior of eating out on a regular basis, because honestly that's just not essential. Like, it's not that important. And if I had to think about other ways to spend my dollar on something that wasn't essential, it wouldn't be eating and pooping something out. Sorry for the graphic information. So this is a perfect time to really just look and assess for your family, like, okay, if we want to cut out something, or if we want to save to maybe do something that's non-essential, like take a vacation or take a trip or something like that. So sitting down and discussing those things as a family during this time is a good opportunity, because we're not all out shopping and spending money and just doing things. We're all kind of sheltered at home and having to be a little more mindful about what we're doing. So this provides an opportunity for you to discuss those things with your family. And so I want to talk about toys and things like that, as far as being essential, non-essential, kid items, stuff like that. So we, prior to the pandemic, did not have a lot of toys. Like, I went through a phase where my kids had so many toys, it was absolutely ridiculous. And then we went through a phase where we phased out toys and just tried electronics. And then we went through a phase where we phased that out and just did creative play. And so that's kind of where we were. We had very few toys, not a lot of things for the kids. And so when you find yourself in a pandemic and sheltered at home, safe at home, and having to keep your kids occupied 24/7 all day at home, there's no going to the park or going for a walk or going bike riding or just doing things outside that we would normally do, I found that having toys became essential again. And so it's amazing how something that could once be non-essential kind of becomes essential. Now again, toys are not essential to us surviving life. Like, they're not essential in that way. But in this way of us being at home and sheltered and safe at home, and again, like I said, you guys, we have taken this very seriously. So we didn't go to any parks. We don't let our kids play in the front yard because there's other kids in the neighborhood and they want to play with the kids. Obviously, it's hard to have kids understand, 6 feet distance and things like that. So we only let them play in the backyard. And our kids have literally been home since March 17th. So I found that we had to replenish toys. So every time we would go out to do an essential run for food, which we do every 14 days, we would pick up a new toy for them to add to their collection. And it's mostly been like Legos, things like that. So we still have been trying to keep it creative play, but we've picked up a few of those items. And so I feel, and you guys tell me what you think, I feel like essential can change based on where you are in life. For a store such as Walmart to say, we're not going to sell, and again, this was only her particular area because my Walmart's still selling everything, but for a store that is open to say, well, we're not going to sell electronics or we're not going to sell clothes because those items aren't essential. Well, they might be. They may come up for someone where it is essential. So I'm curious to know, like, what do you guys think, and what have you been doing, and what have you been considering essential? Have you only been shopping for essentials, or have you been, kind of still living life as you were before? I know there are some people that are still kind of shopping and buying things and taking advantage of the online sales at a lot of places. And I have looked online and kind of toggled back and forth with a few things to get. And again, I can do that, I think, now because we have cut out things like not eating out, again, which is definitely not essential. And so when you start cutting out stuff that's not essential and start putting your dollars first on the essential things, and then going priority, okay, obviously food, water, electricity, having a safe place to live, you know, the hierarchy of needs. Obviously those things are essential to survival. And then after that, what becomes semi-essential for my sanity? You know, it could be toys, it could be a TV, it could be computers, you know, for work, or your cell phone, because that's how you conduct work, or that's how you stay connected. So, you know, then you have that, and then under that, what else is kind of essential for you to be happy or to reward yourself? And then you just kind of go down the chart that way, versus us saying, okay, yes, eating is essential to survival, but is eating out and eating fast food essential to survival? Well, no. So I can cut that out and just literally shop at the grocery store, and I can do that every 14 days or every 30 days or however often. And now I've freed up all of this money, maybe even time, to put that money towards the second thing in my list that I consider as somewhat essential. So this time has just changed how I think about things and where I'm spending my money and what I want to put my dollar in, and what's essential for us as a family, you know, survival, and what do we really need. Like my kids, all of their sports, all of their activities have halted, and honestly everybody's been fine. I mean, my son, he still talks about baseball and wanting to know when it'll start back, but ultimately he's been fine. The biggest thing my kids have struggled with is we haven't taken a vacation. That has been the biggest thing. So what we're learning as a family is that all of those nickel and diamond activities that we were doing before weren't necessarily essential for us as a family. Like, we will be okay without those things, and we can take that money and take a big vacation larger than what we were doing before, because that is semi-essential for us. Like, we truly do miss that as a family, and that was important to us. So just reevaluating the way that we think, you know, having more time together, quality time, sitting and playing board games and watching family movies and things like that, we have found is actually way more essential than us, you know, going to the science museum or going to the zoo or going out to eat or something like that, where we're dropping, for my size family, quite a lot of money, and we can just save that and put it somewhere else. So I don't know, what are you guys' thoughts? That was kind of our debate that has kind of been going around in my circle of friends. And so I thought that I would chat with you guys and see what your thoughts were and how you've been handling essential, and what do you consider as essential for your family. And if this haven't, you know, made you stop and think and say, hey, yeah, let's talk, family, about what we really and truly need, then maybe this video will spark that for you to do that and sit and chat with your family. So that's it, you guys. Thank you for folding up my towels with me and hanging out and chatting it up for a minute or two. Again, if you guys are not part of the family, I would love for you to join. So if you feel inclined and are feeling like, hey, I like this girl a little bit, then please hit the subscribe button and join my family. Don't forget to let me know what you guys think about essentials. I love to keep the conversation going and see what your thoughts are about essentials. Again, I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying at home, enjoying this time, and just taking advantage of it the best that you can with the circumstances that we're in. All right, you guys, love you. See you next time.